Hello and welcome to Knife Delights. Well, I've got another antique store find here, and this was an unusual knife that really caught my eye. Didn't know what it was laying there in the display case, and I pulled it out and got to looking at it. And we'll open up the first blade here, and as you can see, it's like a ram's foot blade or a rope blade designed for cutting cord and line and rope. Nice thick blade stock there. Yeah, it's a short blade. And the secondary blade is this unusual blade. So I spent $3 for this knife, and I thought it was worth $3 just to take it home to find out about it. And my initial information is the tang stamp reads Bianchi Campobasso. I don't know if you'll be able to read that real good. I'll get that cleaned up. But I also thought this was a real good candidate for a restoration video. So here's step one. I just thought I'd show you the condition of the knife. It's really not in bad shape. Got some rust here. And when we look down in the channels down in there, if we can see down in there, there's some rust down in there. So you know what's step number one. This is going straight into the mineral oil. So just wanted to get started. These videos I do in steps. So step number one, just to show you what it's like before. And we're going to go throw it in the mineral oil. So let's see what happens after overnight soaking. I let the knife soak overnight. So, you know, it soaked about 10-12 hours or so. And let's just see what it looks like here. Look at that. I'll bet you a lot of that just wipes right off now. Yep. A lot of it's just going to wipe right off. That mineral oil sure seems to break down that rust. Now this is kind of a messy process sometimes. It's hard to get that mineral oil back off. These blades do have a heavy pull to them. They're stout. They are stout. But just look at the blade stock there. That's heavy duty. And you can tell it. But you see how we got rid of all that rust right there? Really not a whole lot needs to be done to this knife, it doesn't look like. Let's close that one up. And let's pull this blade out. That's all that gunk from where they had the price tag on there. So I'll have to get something to clean that off. Well, no, it's wiping off. Look at that. It's wiping right off. After being soaking like that. Yep. Wiped right off. Well, the knife's been used some. There's some light scratches in the blade. And you can see there, right down here, still a little stuff down in there. Want to be careful. Don't try this at home. Let the professionals do it. Don't cut yourself. Oh, yeah. Well, I might have to use a little something to finish getting that off. I don't know here. Let's see what we got. Okay, there's some hard stuff there. Most of it came off. So I might use just a little bit of rubbing compound on this and clean it up just a little bit. There's a few little spots on there that I can probably get removed. But you see all that heavy rust that was on there at the beginning that came out of the pivots? Well, that mineral oil just took it right off. You can read the tang stamp a lot better. So yeah, let's look down in the channels here just a little bit, see how they are. You see, we keep getting that oil out of there, and that's gonna happen for a while here. I will use a spray can here and go over to the trash can and blow these pivots out. Just spray down in here, see what you can blow out of there. Get rid of that excess oil in there. But you see this mineral oil bath, you see that back springs raised up there? If you can see that there. But that mineral oil gets all down in through there and soaks it in good. Now, this does not have the best walk and talk, but again, it was built as a stout knife. It was built for military use out in the field. And just my initial impressions, it's, you know, the fit and finish is not the best. They probably weren't worried too much about fit and finish. They weren't worried about functionality. And I can tell you, this is stout. This is a stout knife. Oh yeah, we were going to check the channels, weren't we? So we'll just take a peek down in here and see what we've got. See if we can see down in there. Let's just take and, oh boy. Let me find my equipment. We'll be right back. Okay, let's try this again. Just a gun cleaning patch. Little screwdriver here. Just get down in there, see what we got. See how that'll wipe out of there? And we can just continue cleaning that. Okay, if you see down here, a little better light there. You see on the top here, right in here, all that stuff on there. Let's see if we can't get some of that off. Yep. See there in the corner. So that's what we're going to do now that we have the soaking all done. We can just keep going at it here, hitting all the little nooks and crannies the best we can. I changed up here and got a little finer screwdriver. And let's just see what we can get here. Just scrape and scrape and scrape. And a lot of that stuff should come off. Right, this stuff right here. Unless that's rust. Not sure what that is right there. Guess not all of it's coming off. Huh. Well, let's just keep it moving here. Getting a lot of stuff out of those channels there. Let's try a clean patch. Yeah, I'm sure the Italian military and Italian governments, like most governments, they don't. They're worried about the cheapest bidder. The bid for everything goes to the cheapest bidder. So, you know, like I said, the fit and finish on this is not always going to be the best because they're not really concerned about it. Soldier out in the fields just wanting to make sure the knife works and it lasts. I mean, that's really the important thing. When you need it, does it work? Yeah. So you can see how we just keep getting that stuff out of there. Yeah. And then you can fold these back in carefully without cutting yourself. Boy, those are stout. Don't want to slip off. Yeah. Let's put this one to kind of a half stop here. We'll get a clean rag, clean piece of cloth. You know, you want to just keep digging around. We'll get down in these pivot areas here. Clean in there. Not too bad. Now the whole thing is with the mineral oil bath. So I soaked it, got everything loosened up, and now we're able to scrape on it and get a lot of this stuff off. But, you know, if you need to, you can put it back in the mineral oil bath again and let it soak again. And let it break it down. But I'll tell you what, overall, this is a pretty clean knife. There we go. Not much needed at all. Just we can get a better light on there. See down in there. Pretty clean down in there. Yeah. Well, I can probably work on these blades just a little bit. But for right now, it's looking pretty good. I think the mineral bath worked well, as always. I want to say, before I forget, I keep forgetting to mention it on some of my restoration videos. If you have a knife that has, you know, wood handles or wood covers to them, the only drawback I would say about immersing it and letting it soak in mineral oil is if there's a cut or something in the wood and the mineral oil could actually get into the wood and you know, make it swell. Most generally wood handles, they're sealed with something so that, you know, moisture doesn't get into them. But if that is compromised, why, you could maybe have a problem. So other than that, mineral oil really will not hurt any of this metal or plastic or anything like that. So it's a pretty safe soak. And just so you know, I get my mineral oil at Walmart. I think it's $2 for this bottle. And you can use it over and over and over and over. So it's a very, very inexpensive solution. Well, when I got this knife, it was as dull as a butter knife. It would not cut anything. And I have been trying to get an edge on here. And I have been somewhat successful. And I was using this work sharp. And I think this is roughly 400 grit. And I think this rod here, this is, what was it? Equivalent to around 1,000 grit or something. Anyway, this is designed to do a tune-up of your knife out in the field. I don't think it's designed to actually, take a super dull knife and hone it all the way down. One of the problems I ran into is, I've got the guide here for the angle, but as I get going, and I'm almost having to let up on the pressure by the time I get down here and I'm hitting here, or I'm turning it too sharp. In other words, I'm not getting a nice, real smooth action on it when I know I have to take quite a bit of metal off because, like I said, it was like a butter knife. However, after working on it, many passes with this, I do have somewhat of an edge on here. But if we look close, we can see this area here is getting sharpened pretty good, but this end down here is dull. And so, yeah, you can really see it on that tip there. See down there near the end of the tip? It's just not getting sharp. And again, I think it's because of my action on this. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to try putting it on a full-size stone, and because I want to get it sharpened out the rest of the way, but I want a nice even grind on it. Nice sharpening so it's even across there. And I think this knife will perform well. Now I'm reaching around a tripod and this and that to try to cut. Let's see here. Got about halfway through on one pull. So 2 pulls. It did cut the rope. I didn't show you before, but I couldn't get it to cut at all before. So I'm going to claim this to be a limited success. Well, I certainly hope you've enjoyed this restoration video. I know these videos get long, but if you try to show all the steps and everything, it takes time to do this. I try to speed it up and edit out so it doesn't get to be, an hour long. And I will be cutting quite a bit of footage out. But thanks for hanging with me and hanging around to the end if you've made it this far. And until next time, have a very delightful day.